Okay, a few people online. Oh, more people. All right, people are gradually entering, so it's good. Yep, a few more. Yep. All these people coming in. Okay, so just wait a few. So we went past. Everyone's a bit slow because it's so late. It's nearly dinner time. All right, cool. So probably enough people. You guys can hear us? Welcome. We've got a few people around the country. So there's people in Newcastle, I can see Perth as well, and obviously Sydney and Brisbane. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Melbourne today, the beautiful office of Benson Property Group. So we're joined by two VIP guests, two agents, I suppose, with Oxbridge, who's done really, really well in the last financial year. I just thought it'd be a good opportunity since we're here in Melbourne to have a chat with them. So hear about their background first, the experience in projects, how they came about to do just projects. So you guys just do project, nothing else? No residential, no property management. No property. We don't do property management because the pain in the actual backside. Anyway, but just projects. Okay, so maybe casual conversation. You can talk about anything you want. A few prompts, and then so FYI, with Matthew and Manik, they're approaching $2 million GCI. Now, I don't know if you know what it means, but it's freaking amazing, right? Now, if you want to be a millionaire, you can do it in 1 year. No other industry, I think many will talk about this, but no other industry in the world. This is a 2-people team, for God's sake. 2-people team with $2 million GCI. You know, at Oxbridge, we take very, very little for the processing, but so obviously that's cash in the bank. That's not $2 million in sales, that's $2 million commission, right? And that's an astounding number. I think very few people in the industry can say they do that kind of number. But look, I will start with you. Maybe introduce yourself. So Matthew is on my left, and then Manik is on the right. Go for it.
So my background is pretty much investment firms.
Yep.
So I started when I was about 18, into investment firms for about 8 years. And was pretty much, I had no idea about properties or anything. It was all just building up the dream. And to be honest, making the company a lot of money. Myself, I get a bit of scraps, no KPAs, that's about it.
Poor guy.
That's it.
Got screwed. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Sorry.
And then, I actually met Manik at the last investment firm that we were both at.
Right, okay.
And we just gelled really well. We
Yep.
both knew that we wanted to do something a bit better than
Yep.
just work at the investment firm.
Yep.
And so we started reaching out to other companies.
Yep.
Found Oxbridge Property.
Yep.
And they had a really nice structure that was actually, we'll give you everything. You guys just work your ass off and you'll do really well.
Pretty much, yeah.
Even when it came to projects, the first few projects we got were from Oxbridge.
That's right. Yep.
And it really made us take a step back and go, we have projects now to sell. How do we actually sell them? So it really helped us a lot. And then even when it comes to trust accounting, all that kind of stuff, it's all taken care of. So as long as you have the projects to sell, then you can just sell them.
Yep.
You know, whether that's building up financial planners, brokers, accountants.
Yep.
You have to find how to actually get those numbers.
Yep.
And make sure you call 700 people.
Okay.
If you can do that, you'll get the sales.
Okay. So we'll talk about that in a second. Manik, your background.
So for me, look, I came from an entirely different background.
Okay.
I was in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Being a business owner before, I used to run my restaurant. Crazy life.
Yeah.
Then I was in the technology industry. I was running business then. But then I thought maybe I should get into property market. You know, I just came as a total beginner. But I had always a business. But the moment I see this guy, when we met, I knew straight away that like we can build something powerful together. And we just connected, and it was just the universe telling us, okay, we took risk. We pretty much has, I mean, like, you know, job, whatever you want to call it. But then from there, we said, nah, bugger that, we're not going to do that. We started something from scratch, pretty much with Oxbridge. And from day one, look, you know, it was the self-esteem and self-belief. which was in both of us, obviously from different backgrounds, the way we have obviously, being brought up and cultivated our lives together. So we have that in us. And I think that moving forward, what we did is God helped us a lot in everything anyways. But I always give credit for that.
Cool.
But yes, there's a bit of hard work and a bit of support everywhere, which we are very grateful for.
No. So what about the mindset though? A lot of people, when they join us, they go, oh, I don't know about starting my own business. Because I think Manik had a restaurant, and we talked about this, right? To get $2 million like profit, not even revenue, profit in a restaurant. Gee, that's hard work. I mean, you guys are 2 people in a restaurant, 100 staffs, right?
Yeah, it's always the case. But I think, look, if you want to make $1 million, you can't say that I want to have a good life.
Sure.
I mean, because the way I look at it is like, and that's coming from a CEO of Coca-Cola company. They say like, there's no work-life balance. There's only work-life choices. You make them, you have consequences. And that's what I've always ingrained in my mind, that I think my family understand that if I want to empire, that they can't get 90% of my time, it's only going to be 10% of my time. And they understand that, they live with that. And many people, they're going to understand there's only one factor, that building a business is like, having pretty much a second wife, what you want to call it, or this is the reality which you have
higher maintenance.
Always, breathe it, every day, this is what you got to do what it takes to pretty much keep it going. And this is the secret, I'm telling you. Some people just think, okay, they're gonna do.
But it's true.
Days.
So true.
Job hours actually.
It's true. Yeah, the mindset, right? It's so important. A lot of agents, I don't know how many people call me, but a lot of people want to join, do their business, but they don't do it. So many people talk and talk. They don't talk the talk. They don't walk the walk. And I've been people every single day. They're stuck in some shitty firm with some shitty job, and they don't take effort to actually do something. But you guys done it. You guys have done it, right? So very good.
Cheers.
Cool. No. Cool. All right. So tell us, when you first joined, why projects? Why not residential sales or property management? Or I always talk about, because many hates property management. Get rid of them. Hey, useless. I mean, they're good for lead gen, but oh man, it's so much effort. No more VCAT, please.
When we first started, we actually tracked everything. So we started in lockdown, and we tried to literally everything. Any property that we could get, if they said it's worth 1.2 million, we know it's worth $1 million, we grabbed it.
Okay, residential properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
First.
Yep.
And the amount of headache, the emotion from the actual owners, the education process that we had to go through with them. And you sell $1 million property and you get 15,000, 17,000.
Yeah.
Then we actually sold one of your projects that you've given us.
That's right.
We sold about $600,000.
That's right.
It was a very nice commission rate.
Very nice. Yeah.
We got 85,000.
That's correct.
That's
so correct.
The headaches involved were pretty much, it wasn't even comparable. And then we just swapped our mindset completely. We just went into projects.
Perfect. Yeah. Manik, do you have anything to add?
Look, I mean, when initially I started, and Matthew and me, we discussed, okay, what's going to be a game plan? And we obviously choose the route which traditional real estate industry does, go to let it drops.
Yeah.
And we did that, we tried that. But then after that, when I was thinking like a businessman, I was thinking, look, fine, we are competing for 0.1%, 0.5%, 1.5%, and there are 10 other agents who are going to go and have another meeting with the vendor.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, okay, fine, you are giving me point less, point that. I said, what am I doing? I'm just wasting my entire time.
True.
Rather, I sell 3 or 4 developer stock in a month, and I'm going to make 10 times more money. So what am I doing? I'm just wasting my time, basically.
Perfect.
So that was a light bulb moment straight away, and that's where me and Matthew decided this is not the route we're going to go. And look, it was not like something which was just given to us on the flight. For the first 3 months, I remember, I mean, Matthew, I'm quite grateful that he actually paid me from his own money, because obviously he was just giving me roll onto it. And then and then we made our first sales and sales after sale, then I'm paying that. Whatever you want to call it. I asked him for a loan, basically. Give me some loan so I can just do what I can.
Fair enough.
And then after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, they were sale didn't happen. But in those 6 months, the effort which we did for every single day, from morning till night, every day. Okay. Those 6 months of continuous effort, it compounded into a dominance effect.
Yep.
Then suddenly what happened, because this man become like a gun, you know, every developer knows his name. You go, he gets the stock.
That is true.
We played a game like Bunnings.
Yeah.
Like Bunnings, when people come, they don't come for, okay, Bunnings provide the best service. No.
Yeah.
They play a volume game. You got
Absolutely.
every stock there. This one, we turned our business into. We got many stock with us. People came, a lot of inquiries came, and that's how we sold. You know, a lot of us.
Perfect.
And plus, you know, we have a mentality that like client is always right, but remember, if they need you, so does you need them as well. But don't give them this liberty that they can be always taking you for a ride.
Of course, yeah. And now even you're so successful now. I think you've expanded interstate from the first. I think we recently talked about this from the 1st of July this year. Automatic mutual recognition is coming in. This is a phenomenal thing. You can sell projects anywhere without the license of that state because you're licensed in your home state. That means we can sell in WA, we can sell in Queensland. I think you even had a contract or something, right, in Queensland. But yeah, very, very, very good. But exactly right. For those people doing residential at the moment, you're struggling to pay 1.5% or some rubbish. And it's so competitive. And I was living to another age in Melbourne. Jesus, Melbourne's competitive. I was in Sydney last week. Sydney's even more competitive. People are doing 0.8%. I was like, man, you got kids to feed, man. How do you do 0.8%?
It's also their expectation.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah, vendors are crazy. Some of them are just nuts. You know, they cut your price. And that's probably another thing as well. You know, with projects, the vendors are James back there. James and others are just easy to deal with. You know.
And they're helpful as well. Not to mention that. I mean, there are only specific developers who actually really work along with you because their motive is to have the best experience for the buyer too. So this is what I love about Benson's because their staff, and especially when you work with James, he knows his stuff very good, and especially he's very helpful. You ask him for any help, and he always there to deliver it. So that's a beauty in a way. I mean, that's why we are so grateful that we came across the right people at the right time, and then from there, you know, the support which we needed, we got that, and then obviously we did the work. We pulled the thread.
Okay. Let's talk about that. So, okay, firstly, how do you get listings from developers? Because you need two sides, right? You need to get the listings of developers, and I think that's probably easier than residential sales.
100%.
Yeah, would you agree?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to beg your vendors and stuff, right? And you have to get BP, all that rubbish. So how do you find these people? How do you find developers first?
In terms of that, we pretty much went on other project marketing websites.
Mm-hmm.
We found out, okay, these project marketers are selling this property.
Yep.
Then we look it up online.
Yep.
On certain websites. I forgot what it's called.
There's Urbans, there's so many of them.
That's correct.
Facebook has them as well. Facebook, sometimes developers post their ads on there.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I send messages to Rihanna and Kristen and a few of my project teams to get them to chase it. Same thing. Same thing.
Do your calls.
Yep.
If they don't answer, call them next week.
Yep. Yep.
And just say you have problems.
Yep. And we have a big network.
That's
true. It's true. Okay. Anything to add?
And I think one thing I will also add is that people has to understand one thing, which I think Matthew understand quite well, is that perfection equals paralysis. If you think you want to be perfect before you present yourself to a developer, you're totally mistaken. Developers are not looking for any scientist. They're looking for a person who can come and sell.
That's it.
It could be anyone, as long as you speak with conviction, that you know that you can sell and move the stock, they will give it to you. That's how it works.
Yeah. Okay. There's a few questions. We'll take the question a bit later. It's all good. Okay. Let's talk about the most crucial part. So once you get the project, right, it's time to find some buyers. Right. Talk us through that process. Because obviously, man, you guys were talking, you smash it with the calls.
Yep.
Oh, it's freaking nuts how many calls you make a day. So tell us about that.
It's just a mix of a whole bunch of different regions. You know, so contact your accounting firms. We have brokers who work in the same office we do. We approach them. So if you have any clients, all that kind of stuff, give them to us. We will give you 20% of the actual commission. And then when you break it down to them, it's just, again, bringing up a dream.
Yep.
If we're getting $50,000 commission, 20%, $10,000 to give us 2 clients or 1 client a week, it's an extra $50,000.
That's true.
For you, whatever
Yep.
it is, $500,000 a year. So you build it up for them that they really want to give you clients. And that's when you have all the projects, you go, I've got projects everywhere. So stock isn't an issue. Give me your clients, I'll service them correctly. You get the loan, plus you get our comms as well. It's just a win-win.
Yep. That's true.
And I think you also got to have some, because success leads clues always. That's what I always believe in life. And if you have a daily habits and routines, which me and Matthew always follow, no matter what, to the T is basically by the end of the day, we always have a summary sent to Matthew, and then it's get fed into the CRM. And now, at this point of time, we've got a database of more than 6,000 clients. So it's like on a daily basis, not a single day without it, ever since we took on board. So these are the things which you got to always do and make sure that when the inquiry are coming, if you can't sell them now, but there will be time you can sell them in the future.
Yeah.
Because the success always in the process of follow-up.
Yep.
And it takes sometimes up to 12 follow-up to catch the biggest fish you want to. And this is what happens. We experience ourselves. But this is how you've got to understand that. You just can't, there's not going to be a magic wand come out of nowhere. I mean, it's going to be consistent, stay persistent, and then you're going to get pretty much.
Okay.
The rewards that you got.
Yep, definitely. Referrals are definitely one good thing. We had a chat with Colliers today. The number one agent for channel is actually a financial planner. And at this time of the year, what they say to the clients is, man, you got to buy more properties to reduce your tax.
That's it.
And that's what they do. So here we go. And they can't really sell as an agent, so they give it to someone else and they get a referral fee.
Works very well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So any other tips, tricks?
I say just don't prejudge.
Prejudge.
We've had people, they come into the apartment, they go, we love the apartment, we'll reserve it and pay for it tomorrow, and then they dodge our balls. Then we have others that we come, they look like they hate the apartment, and then that night they reserve the use of place. So yeah, just never prejudge. And when it comes to do focus on that reserve, because that will show you which clients are actually interested in which apartment. If they're not going to reserve it, they're not interested.
Okay. So you always take your clients to the actual property, to the actual showroom if it's not complete?
Yeah. So
perfect.
Our aim, if we do 15 to 20 inspections a week, we'll get 1 to 3 sales. Yeah. If we do 5 inspections, we'll be lucky to get sales.
Man, no wonder it's so busy. One of the questions here is, I think it's relevant, is what's your typical day look like?
Get to the office at about 9.
So, okay, so here's the thing, you have an office.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing too. You know, we could, we have a model, as you know, it's a hybrid model. So office is good. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We work off each other as well. You know, so for example, we'll be at an inspection, he'll message me saying why. I know that that client is interested but needs a bit of a push. So I'll call him, and obviously his volume is loud. Yeah. And I'll say, hey, I've got a client who's coming tomorrow. They're incredibly interested. They're going to reserve the property. Yeah. So it pushes that actual client that's with him to reserve. But when it comes to day, we get there at 9. Yeah. First, we do this is the amount of sales we've done. It kind of motivates us. This is how much money we're owed. This is when it will come in. Sure. Next, we do calls from about 10 to about 2 o'clock, depending on when our inspections. Okay. Yeah. And we summarize, we've got 3 inspections, we've got 5 inspections, whatever it is, because that's what actually motivates us. Okay. And also, like what we plan a day in such a way that it's always productive. Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes people get confused that I'm putting a lot of hours. Is that actually 1 hour is productive for you? That's another thing altogether. Mm-hmm. So like if Matthew is on inspection, then I will stay at the office, make sure the inquiries get answered, make sure the listing gets put up. Wow. Make sure all the database, everything's running. So operational work is handled by that. Between me and Matthew, we always make sure that, you know, our business is progressing in the right direction, no matter what. Because if you got 4 inspections lined up in a day, and they are all different directions of Melbourne, the day is finished. You can't do much. Yeah. But then the other guy has to take control of operation. That both of us never sleep unless all the inquiries are not answered on the same day. And we get compliments sometimes by people saying that, oh, I just made an inquiry, you're the fastest user for every reply. Yeah. You know, and even sometimes we answer calls at 10 o'clock in the night. And they say, oh, you're calling me at this time. I said, you just made an inquiry at this time, so I'm calling you right. Okay. So these are things. So I think that's another thing too, accountability part. You know, I've had so many agents, they could be so good, but they're just so slack. Yeah. And I think human beings are naturally lazy. Who wants to do stuff when you don't have to do stuff? But accountability, I get that. That's why you're in a partnership. That's it. And it's also make your goals. So your first goal should be something that's reachable with hard work. Yeah. As soon as you reach that, it's not, okay, great, as long as you do that, then you'll earn more. The moment you go, okay, I'm happy with earning X amount, that's what you're going to earn.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's it.
Me and Matthew in the last 1 year, we never even gone out with the families, never. Only once after we hit a certain mark, we got both the families to go together and we went to a different crowd.
Wow.
So that's a sacrifice it's given by us. Because we always.
Oh my God, I'm
we are
ashamed
the
of myself now.
hardest- We are the hardest critics for ourselves.
Not good.
You know, the
Good.
state of dissatisfaction
Yeah.
is a stage of creation. Because we all are dissatisfied with our results every day.
Good.
Man, we can do more better.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
And this man always keep on rethinking, okay, what can
Yeah.
we do now? What can we do?
Yeah.
I mean, like today when I was at Mornington, he was at the office reading ads and stuff like that. So there's always continuous work, little work every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
builds a portfolio over time.
Yeah. And this is a true story that these guys came to me for a letter from the RIV. I want to talk about this because I think it's important. These guys are reaping the rewards right now, right? And I said, what's the letter for? And you said, I want to buy a new. I think both of you have new cars now. Without going too much into the cars themselves, let's just say both are very expensive. Both are very luxurious, and both are European. Very nice European cars, right? And I think you deserve it, man. I don't know what the discount's for, man. You didn't discount. You didn't get a discount. Freaking REIV, you're gonna complain about that. But anyway, so that's good. That's good. So many questions, man. Shit. A few more questions. Do you have a clear sales process? Is it duplicable, scalable? One of the questions. You have a clear sales process.
I think when it comes to you've got to answer the inquiries, you really got to understand that first of all, what's the client's budget? Right?
Okay.
And then you've got to rope them in by going, look, we have thousands of properties around here. What's your budget so I can get you to the correct ones? And I'll book you in for those specific ones that are the best value, the best incentives. And then from there, you can go, okay, these are the three that I'm going to send over. Have a look at the floor plan and the price.
Okay.
When they like it, then you call them back. Don't wait for them to call you back. Call them back that afternoon or the next day and go, hey, would you like to come and see? And sometimes they'll go, oh, I was just about to call you, and then they'll book it in. So you have to take action like that. Don't just send them a price list with 300 apartments because buyers just don't have a problem. You got to specify which ones.
You're qualify them.
That's it.
Okay. And what's your qualification process? Calling them and speaking to them?
Yeah, correct. And I think this is from the biggest salesman, Wolf of Wall Street. He said one thing that in every
Jordan
business
Belfort.
you gotta learn the first thing, which is the first thing taught, but the last thing learned, which is called sorting.
Sure.
And people always waste their time with the wrong people too long. So I think me and Matthew, we just sort people out very well.
Highly discriminatory.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some clients can just drag you for on.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
There's
geez.
no point because you should be rather spending your time with people who are looking for you rather than the people who are just, because there's three things. One is researcher, one is really you want to buy, and the other one is just wasting time.
Yep. Very, very good. Do you?
Don't give them too many options. So don't give them 10 different apartments. Give them 3, but also say if these don't fit yourself once you come to the inspection, we'll sort out others for you. So
Okay.
it leaves you that opening, but also gets you the inspection.
Yeah. There's another question here. With so many developers, how do you pick the projects you want to sell? Because obviously commission. I mean, this one, we were just at Melbourne Quarter. That is a ridiculous commission. That is just ridiculous. It's crazy. Oh, by the way, FYI, cocktail party tomorrow. The offering is 13.8%.
It's amazing.
13.8%. I'm thinking $1 million, $138,000. I'm thinking, man, and they are very keen to pay that.
And they're gorgeous apartments.
And they're gorgeous apartments. And it's complete stock,
That's
right? And so with all these developers, I mean, obviously, Ben's a great company to work with. How do you choose who, when, how much? How do you choose that?
As long as they pay 5% or above. The way that we look at it is if we sell a $600,000 apartment, we're making a minimum of $30,000. And if you're not doing that, it's not worth it.
So those.
But I think like when it comes to picking up the developers, it's always to do with the clients as well.
Yeah.
Because if a client is looking for something in obviously in Footscray.
Yeah.
So as opposed to Melbourne Quarters, there's certainly no match.
Yeah, it's different
So
stock.
it's always a different thing. Obviously, when you are in somebody's looking in city, then you have to compete with different developers and stuff. And it all comes down to what's the price per square meter, which they are actually selling for.
Yeah.
And what's the client can pretty much afford, and what's value they're gonna get. And because we had clients sometimes which seeing 6 apartments with us, and on 7th one, bang, this is the one. It's not like that
Wow.
we picked the developer for them.
Yeah.
It's just the
They
one
picked
they
up.
actually internally got connected.
Yeah.
So it's always the case. It's always about the client. It's never about us. I mean, we just there to facilitate. This is what we have to offer.
Yeah.
You pick which one is a good fit for you.
Yeah. So how do you manage it? Do you have EDM software? Do you use Arcanine, or what do you
That's
use?
something that
Maybe.
so,
Yeah.
we've been meaning to get the EDMs up.
The EDMs on there. Yeah.
It's more like, this is something that Manik is very, very good at.
Yeah. So
So
IT stuff.
Yeah, he'll literally turn around and go, we have this client, $850,000 budget, wants 2 bedrooms, whatever it is. He'll look through the available stuff that we have in all the different buildings and send them going, these are the 3 in this building, these are 3 in this building. Here's the brochure for each building. Which one do you like?
Right. And how do you do that? What is it? Because we have a software ourselves, right? I would say it's not the best, but it works. It works.
It does.
And how is there a search function? How do you? Because I've been looking at Propic, which is obviously another software we can work with. How do we improve that for everyone?
These are things that we want to actually improve ourselves, because Manic's doing it manually. It's going through the price list.
Oh, geez.
Like,
Wow, that will take a while.
yeah.
But would it be better to create some kind of software so we can automatically go boom, 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 filter, done?
That would be the best thing in the world.
Because
a lot of variables there, different kind of developers.
there is,
different kind of-
yeah. But some developers are really slack. They don't give us price updates. We call them, Manik knows this, right? No names. Some developers go, we have to chase them for the stock list.
That's it.
And that's the problem. We don't know if it's sold or not, right?
Oh, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Some clients are like that as well. Some developers are like that. I mean, because I'll tell you, in this industry, there are 3 brutal things. Number one is the worst thing is dealing with people. The best thing is dealing with people.
Sure.
So you can't really say, okay, I'm gonna really perfect it. But like me and Matthew, we experienced signing contracts 4 o'clock in the morning as well.
Damn.
And we were about to close $75,000 pound. After a week, that client went on witness protection. The contract didn't got executed. Things like this will happen.
What happened to him?
But-
Witness
but-
protection.
But the good thing is that me and Matthew will laugh at it.
Yeah, right.
Because the more you get emotionally attached to it,
Yeah, right.
it just kind of wastes your
Yeah, yeah.
energy.
It's just a number.
It's
Got
gonna
it.
spoil the next one.
Correct. You just jump to it.
Replace them. That's what we always say. These guys gone missing, replace them.
So
Hold them up,
next one.
it's yeah. So every time we've actually done that, we call the last buyer, we send them a message. We go, just to let you know the apartment you were interested in, or townhouse, whatever it is, it's now sold. It gives us a little bit of, okay, good.
I think one thing we really haven't done much,
That's it.
yeah, is because one of the reasons we visit Jingding today is obviously collaboration. They've got exclusive, they're builders and developers now, but also to learn why they're so good.
Very successful.
It's freaking crazy the numbers they do. $8 million of commission one night. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the things we found was seminars is good. The overseas market is good. Competition is good. I think we're trying to learn from others that do well.
I think what I love
The
about
overseas
Jingding-
market generally does not consider facts like fact. I don't know whether they're facts, but people who are local, they're thinking about, the partners don't give you capital growth. That's all. The overseas market, they don't care about it.
But it's also, they don't think that there's capital growth in there. Use it as a rental unit. If an apartment is going to give you $10,000 to $15,000 positive income a year, if you have 10 apartments, it's $100,000 passive income from rent. So whatever the buyer is, just swap it on. That's what we've done with a few, and it works.
And I think Jingding, which is quite impressive about them, that their structure is, it's all about pull the trigger. They are very action-driven company. And they think which they do quite well, which majority of the companies lack, is they are very good at taking it away from the clients. They present it, but they take it away. And that's why it creates so much fear of loss that the clients always kind of fight to get that out.
Yeah, right.
That's something if people do it correctly, they can change a lot of stuff. And there's a proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, I was quite like impressed when they said that. I was thinking, man, I think it's too small. They've done GCI's 200 million in 2 months.
200 million
What are we talking about?
GCI. No, it's okay. They're different. They obviously they come from different backgrounds.
They got a staff of over 100 people doing that.
Well, they're the largest project market in China. That's the foundation. I mean, you can't really. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. And plus, they got a whole. And then here's another thing that's very important. They're employees. You remember that, right? So Jingding has an employment structure. Even the guy we met today is the managing director. I'm sure he gets a really good incentive, but at the end of the day, I guarantee you, he's not on $2 million. I guarantee you. And that's the difference. Yes, you might be working for a big company. It's kind of the same CBRE Collier's principle. Yeah, a big company, but you're an employee.
That's the thing. It's the safety.
Hmm.
You know, if you want to be safe, then you're going to be
100%. 100%. 100%. There's a whole bunch of questions. What I'll do is one more question before, and then I'll open up to the floor. There's a whole bunch of them. Your future, because we talked about this, right? We talked about internationalization, which I think Manny is maybe looking at the Indian market as well. And we've got rep offices in India already, which I've already set up. But it's not hard to replicate what Jingding's doing or someone else is doing. We talked about this, right? I don't know, 5,000. Here's the budget. Get a hotel. I know, great, beautiful hotel. Do a conference, do a few advertising, get people in, sell those stuff, tie with a visa, change of lifestyle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the future for you guys? What are you guys thinking?
Look, eventually we'd love to be incredibly financially free, where we're using the money from everything that we're doing now to generate investment. Yeah, so we'll buy petrol stations. We'll also go overseas, because if we can do it like what Jingding are doing in India, then that'll just blow everything apart. Yeah,
1 billion%.
that's it. And it goes from us earning X amount to $100 million a year minimum.
Yeah. 1 billion%. 1 billion%. Yeah.
I think the success to become a billionaire is from Mark Zuckerberg. He said one thing, that you find the industry in chaos, and from there you find a solution and help billions life and make a billionaire. So I think India right now, it's totally in chaos right now.
Okay.
We are more than a billion people. So you found a solution, that's the ultimate resource to become a billionaire.
Yeah.
But look, money, it's not everything, but money is the only thing you can keep accountable for. But I think once the money comes, obviously we will strategically spend into other businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I think we'll also talk about scalability. Mary sitting beside me is part of the team. So that's something we did talk about. It's obviously, it's hard work. Doing everything yourself is hard work. But I think eventually, we've spoke about this, right? You know, to really create scalability, you need people to work with you and for you.
That's right.
So is that something you want to talk about? Stuff. I think Mary is your first team member. Is that right?
Yes,
Or-
Mary is with us.
And she joins you because, you know, you've got a technique that works.
First of all, she knows house loan packages 30 times better than me.
Perfect.
Right? She's also incredibly ethical. She's a very, very good person.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, ethical is important.
Well, it means we can work on it. You know, so her success is our success. You know, if she doesn't succeed, then we need to swap up something and work for something to change, because it needs to work for her. Otherwise, it doesn't work for us, and nobody else wants it.
I think what Mary has, which many people don't have, is Mary has people skills, which is very important in our industry.
No, absolutely. It's a people
This is
skill.
what, I mean, I'm always good, I would say, good judge of people. And I straight away, I mean, I always like been felt it, and I felt it from day one with Mary, that she has a gift in her way. She can connect with people in a very good manner, which actually become an asset for everybody.
I think Mary's about to cry.
Sweet, very, very nice. Thank you.
No, very good. No.
And I felt the same about the guys too. You know, when I first met them, I just thought they were very genuine. You know, integrity is, you know, key. And that's like a magnet for me. You know, because I've been around a lot longer than you. So it was, you know, it was amazing.
We've been in this industry probably
In the world,
Yeah.
in general. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I guess going forward, that is the model. Scale it.
That's it.
100%. You've got something that people respect, and obviously people join you for a reason. Why should they call you a boss? Well, you've got something that they respect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
When it comes to, the difference is that we really want people to succeed.
Yeah.
Because we don't want people going in and out all the time, or that
Yep.
kind of stuff, or we're paying $1,000 a week basis and all that.
Yeah.
To earn real money. So
Yeah.
we're earning real money as well.
Of course. What's your current management style? What do you guys do? Is it, you don't micromanage, do you? Mary's here.
We are, we are pretty much thinking of doing some stuff like macro manage, like a marketing, bit of marketing, which we want to do.
Yep.
Quite a bit, because we have a lot of database now, which we're going to continuously churn those numbers to generate a lot of inquiries. Because, inquiries are like this, man. Like 1 week you're going to have inquiries, the other 2 weeks not, unless you make those numbers, count for yourself. So that's why the few things strategically we're planning to do, and we are working with it now. So next financial year, we're going to pretty much have a continued expansion growth.
Yeah.
Because we are already thinking 5 to 10 years ahead.
Fantastic.
Because if you don't have a vision, you're going to perish.
Very true. And you guys are still very young. My goodness, I didn't know how young you guys were. That's, oh, come on, man. You guys are still, no, we won't go into actual age, but you're still very, very young to be doing so well at such a young age. We have an office, driving beautiful cars, which very, very few people can even experience in their lifetime. I'm going to open up for questions. I think we could just shout, Venkat, you hear me?
Venkat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you want to just ask your question and then we could, just try and answer them?
First of all, I would like to congratulate both of you as part of the Oxbridge team. You have really done very well, and we could actually take you as role models to when it comes to project marketing and then proceed. All right. I have a few questions.
Can I just remind people, this is 4:37 here in Melbourne. We had a long day, so maybe just keep it. Yeah, I'll use Melbourne. Yeah. So we want to actually just FYI what's happening. So obviously I'm taking out for dinner and stuff like that, and then tomorrow I think we have a trip to a winery. So that's something. Oh, sorry, Venkat. Yeah, so go for it. Maybe 1 or 2 questions.
Do you actually manage the office tasks yourself, or do you outsource it? Like when it comes to listing or following up the initial calls or follow up and all those things, do you outsource or do you do it yourself?
We do more. Because in terms of that, this is one of the reasons why we haven't grown as big as we might want to, is we don't trust enough people actually. They might call and we'll get some people, no answer, that's it. Whereas we know that Mary, for example, there's a house and land package inquiry. She's going to call it, it's not going to answer, she's going to call the next day. Same as us, we're also going to email her all the information. Keep doing it until we actually get them answered. That's one of the reasons we haven't found that.
So, may I know what kind of marketing strategy other than networking with accountants when it comes to marketing, like advertising or anything? Do you follow any of that?
Well, one of the things that I did earlier on is if I have a listing in South Yarra, for example, I'm going to try and list a normal person's house or apartment in South Yarra. Right? Because then I can use that ad to trigger other inquiries.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have that kind of crossover, that's when you go, okay, I'm using this apartment not to actually sell it, and hopefully it will be sold, but to sell the actual development stock. Some people might not like that, but that's what we do.
Okay, perfect. Jonathan, you have a question? Jonathan from Sydney. Jonathan just joined us. Jonathan actually is a phenomenal project marketer yourself. Yeah, go for it. Jonathan? He says, this question is here actually. How many properties should you sell to reach the $2 million GCI?
Probably about 49.
Okay.
Thereabouts.
Yeah. So give an example in residential. I think 49 is about $1 million. I think 49 is about $1 million. Yeah, so that's the difference. Maybe even less. I don't know.
But that's the thing as well. We really did learn. Because our first 4 sales, for example, we bent over 4 months. It's supposed to be $50,000 commission, and we ended up getting 10. We gave them a discount to get the sale. And after that, we really realized we don't need to do that. We need to up our negotiating skills.
Yep.
So I went from 10, 15,000 to 60, 80, 90,000.
Yeah.
And it was just by understanding the actual market.
Perfect. Yeah. Excellent.
So that was why, because it should be probably about 2.5, 2.7. It's almost 3 times.
$2.7 million.
Should be.
Holy mother God. Okay, Terry.
But it's also that it just doesn't come to you straight away. There's always a time lag into it because some of them are off the plan.
Yeah, of course.
Some of them are not.
Yeah,
But
settles.
you record the moment the contract is signed, it is
Yeah.
unconditional. So there's a theory: you love the client, you nurture the client till they sign the contract. The moment it's become unconditional, then it's your time.
I don't even think most people make 2.7 in a lifetime. Think about it, right? How many people make 2.7 in a lifetime? Crazy. Anyway, anyone else? I don't know who these people are. It's just freaking nicknames. If you just have any questions, just shout. Chris, anyone? Anyone's got questions? Last chance. Always want to. Oh, sorry. Adam's racism. Adam, go for it. Adam from Brisbane. Adam? You there? I don't know which Adam this is. I'm pretty sure it's Adam Hubbard. Adam? All right, all good. Okay. Anyone else? You could ask any questions about anything at all?
Yeah, just a quick one. It's Simon here.
Hey, Simon, how are you, man?
Hey,
Yep.
good, very good, good. Do you guys do a lot of Facebook marketing or any other social media marketing, or is it all just basically off inquiries from the main and obviously from former clients and your referral partner?
Nowadays, Facebook marketing.
Facebook marketing. Yeah, social media is a big one. Yeah.
Listing.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
that's a
bit
big
of
one.
social media marketing.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Big one. Big one.
What would you say is your percentage of the leads? Like how much, if you were to split it up, how much, where are most of your leads from your referral partners, like your financial planners and all that sort of thing, or more from the marketing, Facebook marketing?
Doing a mix.
It's a mix.
Yes,
It's a mix,
some
yeah.
people get enough on Facebook and all that. Others
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really a mix.
Yeah.
And if you're not
Okay.
getting enough leads, get on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get 2 good ones out there.
Okay,
Cool.
cool. Thanks.
Simon, you should move to project marketing, man. What are you doing residential sales?
100%.
Simon's from another agency. This particular agency came from is very, very residential based. They know nothing about project marketing. Isn't that right, Simon?
100%. That's why I'm trying to get into
That's
it.
right.
Obviously I'm also cracking into the buyer's agency market. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it like that too. So
Perfect.
just makes a lot of sense. All good.
Perfect. Cool, man. Anyone else?
Cheers, man.
Hey, Paul, it's just Adam again. Can you hear me this time?
Oh, yeah, Adam. Welcome back. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened back there. I was just ringing. I was just going to ask a question. Inspiring stuff, guys. Brilliant. I was just going to ask, and apologies if it's been answered already. If you guys were starting up in project management now, what would you do to start off if you were like me at this point?
I'll probably look into overseas. And I'll actually present myself to all the developers and put a plan in place that get them to invest with you and go and start a 2-year campaign where you can sell all their stock within 2 years, but you gotta take a massive risk. But when you take a crazy risk, then you can make crazy money.
It's like when we did this, we took a huge loan, all that kind of stuff. We took an office. It was during COVID. It was during lockdown. We had no incoming money.
Jeez.
I have 2 kids. He's got a kid as well.
Bloody hell.
So we either had to do it or we were going to be stuck.
Yeah.
And then even when we started to make money, we put more pressure on us. I put my kid into a private school. He's put his kid into a private school. So now there's a thing where we have to make that money.
Yeah.
I'm buying an X amount of house. Now I have to make X amount more money.
Mm.
And if I don't, then I'm screwed.
Yeah. Goals. Yeah. Well, Adam, the next month I'll be in the US, and I think the US is a phenomenal market. But I think the vision is an international network of people. India, China, US, whatever. Who cares? Japan, Bali. Any more questions, Adam?
No, that was pretty much right. So basically, in essence, you would start to reach out to developers directly and sell their stock directly to undercut some of the buyers aggregates and things like out there. That's basically what you would do.
Absolutely, Alan, because look, if you reach out to the developers and you say, we're not gonna sell you stock to the local people, we're gonna do it overseas, then in real ratio, you are the master agent. And you can channel yourself, but remember, in overseas, the channel agent's not gonna charge you a dime. There's the difference. So you gotta think in a business perspective. I mean, you can make, instead of just retail one person, you're looking 4 person. So there's dramatic amount, and you times that with the volume. So this is how you're gonna make a lot of money. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. So, and your plan, Paul, your plan is to build a network of agents all around the world so that we can share these listings around the world to get the buyers in for internationally. Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah. So not just agents and brokers or whatever, but also just remember the general public. A lot of the top project marketers around the world have a group of very loyal followers. It was like an investment club. So we got a property club, which is disguised as a property club, but it's actually get to buy the damn thing, right? So we get them into seminars and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the vision, because I think very, very few agencies do that. Even I met the CEO of Remax New Zealand. His name was Don Hart. He came to the ARIC conference. He's the #1 agent in the world for Remax. And what does he do? Projects. He does nothing but projects. He beats the #1 residential agent by, I think, 4 times or something. We're having a chat. He has his whole team. He's like an emperor, man. He walks in, his whole team behind him. But yeah, that is the key. And when I said, what do you guys sell? Vietnam, because Remax is obviously a big network. Vietnam, I think this is India as well. Anywhere.
And don't be afraid, once you've done a sale, that person knows 35, 50, 100 people. So say if you have anybody else who wants to buy, we'll give you $5,000. They've already gone through the process with you. They know you're good and happy to deal with you. If anybody else is looking, they'll give it straight to you, whether that's now or in 3 months.
Perfect. Very good advice. Any more questions? We can go, I suppose, till 5 o'clock. We're half dead. I think everyone's half dead.
I do just want to say, in
Yeah.
terms of Oxbridge property as well, there's no other company that I know of, and I looked at a few of them, all right, that will take a split of 5%
brother.
plus.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's actually amazing.
Thank you.
So
No.
we appreciate Paul as well.
I don't know. We
And
try.
you're the only person that I can actually go and give a call to, and you're not too busy. You call me back straight away.
I do
Things
try.
like that matter.
I do try. Yeah. No. We have exclusive projects as well. I think that's going to be a bigger part next financial year. We're also a little bit different. Ray Weil, LJ Olcott, they don't have a fund. My background's in funds management. With money, I hate to be blunt. With money, we can control a developer. We can say, I want 6.6, I want VPA up front, I want this, I want that, I want 12 months, whatever. We're the master agent. I think we've launched a few projects that where we're the master agent, and we can then channel that back to Colliers, back to CBRE, stuff like that. Anyway, any more questions I can answer? We can answer. Anyone? Do you want to ask any questions?
James wants to ask.
Yeah, next year, 3 million, 4 million?
We're looking at Brighton, a house in Brighton next to the beach, private school, 4 million.
We'd actually like 5 million, but we understand that we might work 15 nowadays. Yeah. I'm starting some investments in actually America. Very quickly.
Perfect. I love
that's through accounting firms that have clients there. Otherwise, I'd have no idea how to start.
Yeah.
So just cast them wide web.
Yeah.
Catch them.
Yeah, I think that's a key next year. Internationalization. That is a huge key. I think Manik, man, you're the perfect guy for India. You speak the language, man. The culture. Geez, even local communities is quite good, obviously. But I was telling someone today, Australia is such a small population. I hate to be blunt, but Australia. I've lived in London. I lived in New York. Look, if I always say to my young staff, right, go and live overseas. Go and live in New York, because you don't know what you don't know. I guarantee you. You think Melbourne's big? You go to New York. Shanghai is 26 million people, right? Imagine the purchasing power in India. You go to New Delhi, you do a conference, there's 1,000 people. Not like 7.
I don't need to expert. They don't need to export anymore. They just
Sorry,
use the local
sorry,
market.
Matthew.
I looked up the population of Australia after you said that.
Yeah.
The whole of Australia.
Yeah.
is about
24 million.
The whole of Australia.
That's smaller in Tokyo, smaller in Shanghai. I think smaller in New York.
That's it. Yeah. So we're incredibly small, which means we can't stay. We have to expand.
Well, it's a great country. It's also an immigration country. I kid you not, I shit you not, right? Because I lived in Shanghai as a fund manager for a while. People in China and India love to put their money elsewhere. Is that true, Manik? Is it true? And I mean, the environment is, man, it's so different. People rather live here than elsewhere in the world.
Which is right, because it's more about the lifestyle.
More the lifestyle, yeah. And people pay any money. There's not many. People pay any money, and there's tons of people, tons of money in India, for example. They would love to come here. Shit, if they can buy a passport, they'll buy a passport. Any other questions we may answer? It's getting late, so we are pretty much dead. Do you want to say anything, Mary, for the team?
No, I think that the team speaks for itself. You know, they're just amazing, genuine, authentic people that really want to help a buyer as well. They just don't want you to do a sale. They actually want to help the buyer. But I want to give you a rap because
Oh man,
I do.
don't do that,
You're
please.
amazing.
Oh my God, my God, don't do that. No, don't do that. I remember we had a chat many. You were doing like house and land packages or something.
Oh, it's house and land packages, yeah, subdivisions, land,
Yeah, I remember that.
whatever.
You're working for someone, right?
Yes, I was.
Like a crazy boss or
And,
something.
yeah,
I remember that.
well, working where you don't make money, you know, making money for other people and you don't see it for
It is
yourself.
a shitty life.
You know,
People are employed.
so you're
yeah.
a stepping stone actually,
no, it's all
and
good.
you were, I guess, the encouragement, you know, and it's hard to let go to something that you've done for a long time. You know, people, we're creatures of habit. The ones, you know, and it was great when I first started to speak to these guys. It was all in regards to business, basically. You know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But thank you, Paul.
No, come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do
Round
that.
of applause for Paul.
No, come on, man. We'll give a round of applause for Matthew and Manik and Maria for this phenomenal financial year. But that is it. That is one of the core philosophy of Oxbridge, right? Start your own freaking business. Cash flow quadrant, you know, move away from the employee mentality. Don't work for others. I respect there's good people out there, but you are never, ever, ever, ever going to make $2 million in one financial year if you're working for someone else, because it's capitalism, right? And that's how capitalism favors the entrepreneur. It doesn't favor the employee at all. I think even tax-wise, it favors the business people. You can do tax deductions, tax off your profit rather than your revenue, right? Whereas as an employee, your tax is gone before you see your money. And that's my friend, that's life. So these guys have done it, man. These guys have moved away from that mentality, starved a little bit in the beginning. But look at them now. Private school, nice cars, nice house, nice wives, I imagine. I don't know, the wife. But look. Did you think didn't change the wife? Yeah, but I get that all the time. I said, don't do it for yourself, do it for your family, for God's sake. Do it for your family. You know, go out there and work your ass off so your family can have a better life for you and for them. But yeah, look, thanks to everyone for there's a whole bunch of questions. Yeah, a few more. Shit, there's too many. I want to go home, man. So website, you have a website. Yeah, these guys have a website. Nice to see a woman in the mix as Karen Andrew, one of our top agents in the Mornington Peninsula. Karen Andrews smashed it this year as well. Good residential sales agent, but obviously I can't remember what suburb Karen's in, but top suburbs down the Mornington Peninsula. But yeah, look, I think I'm going to wrap it up. If there's any other suggestions, comments, stuff like that. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for your time. This is recorded, by the way. We'll show the recording shortly across all the platforms, and I will see you guys later. Go.